Students, today we are going to learn about bacteria from the chapter Biological Classification, and it belongs to the kingdom Monera. In the last class, we discussed a few characteristics of the monerans, that is, they are unicellular and basically prokaryotic organisms. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the bacteria in detail. The characteristics of bacteria are they are generally unicellular and microscopic organism. The cell wall, it is made up of peptidoglycan, and the outer mucilage covering, that is capsule, is also present. Prokaryotic organization with naked circular DNA folded to form nucleoid. Cell organelles are absent. The cell inclusions like mesosome, ribosome, cytoplasm, RNA, lipid, globules, etc. are present, and the binary fission is the mode of reproduction. These are a few general characteristics of the bacteria, and what we have found out that they resembles quite similar to that of the Archaeobacterias, which is another member of the kingdom Monera that we have discussed in the last class. But there are a few differences between the Archaeobacterias and the Eubacteria. Say for example, the cell wall in case of Archaeobacteria, it was not made up of peptidoglycan, but here the cell wall, it is made up of peptidoglycan, which is a carbohydrate and a protein composition, and the outer wall of the cell wall, it is made up of a mucilage covering which is called as capsule, which is generally a non-cellulosic material which is present in some of the bacteria. Then the next common characteristics, it was found that a naked circular DNA are found embedded in the cytoplasm, and that circular DNA, it is called as the nucleoid. Generally, cell organelles are absent. Cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, such type of cell organelles are absent in case of bacteria, but they possess some other cell inclusions such as the mesosome, ribosome, cytoplasm, RNA, lipid globules, etc. So that we are going to discuss in detail in the cell structure. And the mode of reproduction is generally asexual one, that is, it is called as binary fission. Now let's discuss about the shape and size of bacteria. We know that the bacteria are unicellular organisms, but as far as their body shape is concerned, then they are found in various shapes or body forms, and some are even pleuromorphic. That means that they changes their body forms. Generally, the bacteria occur in 4 forms. Those are Coccus, Bacillus, Spirillum, and Coma. Coccus are spherical in outline. As you can see in the diagram, that they are round in shape. Bacillus are straight and cylindrical in structure, or we can call them to be rod shape. Spirillum, they are coiled like a screw, and the comma shape, they are in the shape of a comma or a carved rod, or we can say that the comma shaped bacteria are like that of a half moon. But there are many variations in these body forms also. Let's take some example. of bacteria on the basis of their body forms. In the diagram, the one which is colored in green, they are the cocci or coccus type. So as we know that the coccus, they are spherical or round in outline, but here we can find many variations, and on the basis of that they are also differently named. When there is only a single cell of the coccus type, then it is called as monococcus. When the bacterial cell, they occurs in two. In the diagram, you can see here that there are two cells or bacterial cells, they are in group. Then it is called as diplococcus, and such type of a diplococcus bacteria is Streptococcus pneumoniae. It also comes in four, such it is called as Tetracoccus because it occurs in tetrads. Then comes Streptococcus when they occurs in chain. Then it is called the Streptococcus, and such a species is Streptococcus pyogenes. When the coccus, they occurs in irregular grape-like cluster, then it is called the Staphylococcus. And when this coccus bacterial cells, they occurs in three-dimensional geometrical form. In the diagram, as you can see, the last one, that is Sarcina ventriculi. It occurs in a three-dimensional structure, and such type of coccus forms are called as Sarcina. These are various forms of those bacteria which are spherical or round in outline. The orange colored forms are the Rhodes or Bacillus type of bacteria, where they are straight and generally cylindrical in shape. Generally, it is found in three types. Those are Diplobacillus. That means when the bacterial cells, they occurs in two together, then it is called as Diplobacillus. Then comes Palisade bacillus, where the bacillus, they occurs in stacks. That means one above the other. Then it is called as Palisade bacillus. And the last one of this type, it is called as Streptobacillus. That is when the bacillus, they are in chain. As you can see in the diagram, the upper one, that is the chain of bacilli, which is the Streptobacillus. And in the diagram, the lower two, they are Bacillus type with flagella. Flagella, that is their locomotory organ. And there we find the species as Salmonella typhi, Streptobacillus bacteria, that is Bacillus anthracis, and the spore forming bacteria, which is a rod shape, that is called as Clostridium botulinum. Similarly, the Lactobacillus, the one which is used or which is responsible for the formation of curd, that is a bacillus form of bacteria. Then comes the spirillum type. In the diagram, as you can see, that they are all spiral shaped structures, and such spirillum are Spirillum, that is a genus, a member of Spirillum type, and Spirochaete. In the spirillum, again there is a special category which we have called it to be the comma shaped, and such a comma shaped bacteria that is found, that is Vibrio cholerae. The average size of bacteria can be from 1 to 10 micrometer in length and 1 to 1.5 micrometer in width. And accordingly, the smallest bacteria is known as Dialister pneumocystis, and the largest bacteria, it is the Thiomargarita remibiensis and Bigotia mirabilis. This Thiomargarita remibiensis that is found in the intestine of marine fish. Now let's discuss about a bacterial cell structure, or what are the inclusions that is present in a bacterial cell. The whole bacterial cell, it is divided into two parts. These are cell envelope and the cytoplasm and its cytoplasmic inclusions. The cell envelope includes the outer gelatinous capsule layer, which is also called as glycocalyx, cell wall and cell membrane. The capsule, it is a slimy layer which is made up of polysaccharides other than cellulose or peptidoglycan, and it is generally secreted by the inner protoplast of the bacterial cell. So this is the outermost layer that the bacteria exhibits, and it appears to be thick and tough. This layer, it helps in prevention of desiccation, that means breaking down, along with the protection from phagocytosis. As we know that the bacterial cell walls, they can be eaten up by other organisms. Therefore, this layer capsule, it helps in protection against phagocytosis or toxic chemicals or antibiotics. And lastly, it also helps in attachment, or it helps in adhering the bacterial cell to a particular surface. The cell wall, it is a rigid solid covering made up of peptidoglycan and contains some polysaccharides, amino acids and lipids. The cell wall, it provides shape and structural support to the cell, as well as it protects the bacterial cell against pathogens and from bursting in hypotonic solutions. The next to the cell wall is the cell membrane. So their cell membrane, it is selectively permeable structure. That means it does not allow anything to go inside the bacterial cell or to come outside the bacterial cell. And this is the innermost lining of the cell envelope in the bacterial cell. This is also made up of phospholipid bilayers. Now next to the cell membrane comes the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, it is a colorless, transparent mass of substance spread throughout the cell. It acts as a bed for the cytoplasmic inclusions, but we do not find any kind of cell organelles in case of a bacterial cell. Rather, some other structures such as mesosomes, which is the villiform or infold of the cellular membrane, that is generally attached to the cell membrane like a bag-like structure. And this mesosome, it contains respiratory enzymes which helps them in their cellular respiration process. Generally, they are in the shape of vesicles, that is round shape, tubules or rod shape, or they can be in the form of flat structures which is attached to the cell membrane. So for this you can refer to the diagram which is given with it. Then next comes the nucleoid. Nucleoid, as we know that this is the not well defined structure of the nucleus. As the nucleus, it is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Therefore, the genetic material, which is normally the circular double-stranded DNA molecule, which is supercoiled with RNA, it is suspended freely in the cytoplasm without any cell nuclear membrane. And this whole mass of the genetic material, that is the DNA, it is called as nucleoid. But apart from this nucleoid, bacterial cell, it possesses small circular DNA which is naked in nature, and they are self-replicating one. These are also present in a bacterial cell. Next to plasmids comes the ribosomes. Ribosomes, they are the protein making centers within a bacterial cell. So we find here single or polyribosomes which is spread over the cytoplasm. And along with this, there are lipid granules, glycogen granules, etc. There are also some cellular appendages such as the flagella, saxpili or fimbriae, etc. that comes outside the bacterial cell. Generally, the flagella, it helps them to swim or for locomotion, and the saxpili or the fimbriae, it helps during their genetic recombination process, which is called as conjugation. Bacteria, they generally undergoes the asexual mode of reproduction, and in case of most of the bacteria, it is binary fission. Apart from binary fission, there are some other asexual methods such as budding or formation of asexual spore, that is conidia, through which a bacteria reproduces in their adverse conditions. Now let's discuss how this binary fission takes place in case of them. During binary fission, the cytoplasm and the nucleoids divides equally into two without mitosis. So during the division of nucleoid, the DNA, it replicates while attached to the mesosome, and as this whole process takes place, the cytoplasm, it enlarges in size, and that enlargement, it leads to the formation of a constriction right at the middle of the parent cell. And when this constriction, it becomes deeper and deeper, at one point the constriction, it breaks up, and that breaking up of the parent cell due to the constriction, it is only called as fission. And as two daughter cells results with equal proportion of their nucleoid, therefore it is called as binary fission. Generally, the whole process of binary fission, it completes in about 20 to 30 minutes in case of a bacterial cell. Apart from binary fission, a bacterial cell also undergoes asexual reproduction by the formation of asexual spores in adverse condition, and such a type of asexual spore is the formation of conidia. Now, there is no sexual reproduction reported in bacteria, but they have genetic recombinations. And these genetic recombinations can be by three processes. Those are conjugation, transformation, and transduction. Conjugation happens between two bacteria of two different strains, in which one is called a donor bacterial cell, which is generally regarded as the male, and there is another recipient cell which is generally regarded as the female, or that we can call it to be the plus and the minus strain. In that, the male or the donor cell, it donates the female bacteria its DNA content with the help of a conjugation tube which is formed from the sex pili. And this whole process, it is called as conjugation. Similarly, transformation, it is the transfer of a fraction of the DNA which is generally from either the bacteria or it can be any kind of naked DNA which the bacteria can incorporate it in the bacterial cell. And lastly, it is the transduction process in which the genetic material of one bacterium is transferred to another through the agency of bacteriophages. These bacteriophages are those viruses which attacks the bacteria. So we can say here that the bacterial cell, it incorporates the viral DNA, and this whole process of incorporation of the viral DNA with the bacterial DNA, it is called as transduction. So this is only discussed as sexual reproduction or genetic recombination, or it is also called as parasexuality in case of a bacterial cell. Now comes the nutrition of bacteria. So bacteria have generally two types of nutrition, that is the autotrophic nutrition and the heterotrophic nutrition. In case of autotrophic nutrition, it utilizes the inorganic material to manufacture the food or organic compounds with the help of energy. Autotrophic nutrition, it is again of two types, that is photoautotropic nutrition and chemoautotropic nutrition. From the word photo, it means that they utilizes light with the help of some chromatophores, that is the part of the cell which produces the photosynthetic pigment. And these pigments, they helps in making the food with the help of sunlight. And such type of bacteria are called as photoautotropic bacteria, which possesses purple pigment or green pigment. They are generally anaerobic in nature, and such an example of phototropic bacteria is Thiopedia rosea and Chloropidium limicola. Another is the chemoautotropic nutrition. In case of chemoautotropic nutrition, they are able to manufacture their organic food from inorganic raw material with the help of energy. Generally, they are seen in the hot springs, or they are seen to be the nitrifying bacteria such as Nitrosomonas nitrobacter, which is found near the leguminous plant, or sulfur oxidizing bacteria, or they can be the iron oxidizing bacteria. And in case of the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they can be of three types, that is saprophytic, symbiotic and parasitic. So saprophytic are those that they generally decomposes the dead and the decaying organic matter, such as vegetable waste, fallen leaves, animal waste, etc. Symbiotic bacteria are those which have a mutual understanding association with the other organisms. Say for example the Escherichia coli, which is found in human intestine, or Rhizobium in case of leguminous plant, where the E. coli in case of human intestine, it helps in the process of digestion in our body. And the parasitic bacteria are those which causes harm to our body, such as Mycobacterium, Vibrio cholerae, etc. Now let's come to the last part of this topic, that is economic importance of bacteria. So let us first discuss the useful activities that a bacteria can do. First thing is the decay of organic waste. So many saprophytic bacteria, they act as the natural scavengers, and that leads to the decomposition of the organic matter that is generally found in our nature, either in the form of fallen leaf or dead bodies, etc. The next is the disposal of sewage. So sewage, these are waste material or organic waste which is generally generated from our household. So the bacteria, they helps in decomposition of this sewage, and a common bacteria which are involved in the sewage disposal process are Streptococcus, Micrococcus, Pseudomonas, Lactobacillus, etc. The third important role that it plays in our nature is the role in nitrogen cycle. We know that nitrogen, it is abundant in our atmosphere, and nitrogen, it is very important to make our inner molecular constituent. But the fixation of the nitrogen, it is done only by the bacteria, and such type of bacteria are Nitrobacter, Nitrosomonas, etc. So they have a very important role in the nitrogen cycling in our nature. The next importance is the role in improving the soil fertility. So in that, some bacteria like Begiotia and Clostridium, so they helps in enriching the soil fertility. And the last and the most important is the role in the industry. Many bacteria are employed to yield industrial products. So such some of the industrial products along with the bacteria used are in the chart. Lactic acid, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, curd, Lactobacillus and Streptococcus species, butter, Streptococcus lacti, vinegar, Acetobacter aceti, vitamin B12, Clostridium butylicum, and enzymes, Bacillus subtilis, along with Clostridium species. Along with this, rating process of flax, hemp, jute, etc., curing of tobaccos and teas, and leather tanning is also done with the help of bacteria. Now let's come to the harmful effects of bacteria. Some of the harmful effects of bacteria are food poisoning, where some saprophytic bacteria cause decay of our food, and that gives unpleasant aroma, taste and appearance. And some bacteria, they produce powerful toxins in foods to cause food poisoning as well. Then comes spoilage of food. So spoilage of food is also because of certain bacteria such as Lactobacillus, Leuconostoc, Pseudomonas, etc. Then pollution of water. Generally, in pollution of water, some bacteria cause diseases are formed, such as cholera. This is because of Vibrio cholerae, typhoid, Salmonella typhi, jaundice, and some other infectious diseases along with Escherichia coli. So they generally are responsible for creating pollution of water. And various other diseases, bacterial diseases, are also caused because of bacteria. And such type of diseases are dysentery, typhoid, cholera, plague, influenza, tetanus, diphtheria, tuberculosis, leprosy, etc. And such type of diseases are also found to infect the plants as well. So these are a few details of the member bacteria from Monera.